Hey guys, it's Wednesday, September 10th. It's Morning Joe and the Pro. I'm the Prez, Lawrence Presman, co-founder of WagerTalk.com, owner of the Gold Sheet and Sports Memo. Today's show, fun and exciting stuff. Ralph Michaels, a legend in this industry with us, and Drew Martin, building his legendary status, both joining us. Also, make sure to watch the college football betting show with Teddy Covers, myself and Dave Koken. It's up. Today's show, we're going to look at one college football game right off the top. Then we're going to go into two baseball games as well as two NFL games at the end of the show. I want to bring in my guests, Drew Martin and Ralph Michaels. And Drew, before we even get to Ralph, it's $2 Tuesdays over at Sports Memo and at WagerTalk.com. Tell us what's going on at Sports Memo, my friend.
Yeah, Prez, it's $2 Tuesday. Like you said, we got Alex B. Smith. He's the $2 handicapper, so you can get his top play for Friday night in college football for just $2 until midnight tonight. And when you get that, you actually get a coupon code for an MLB handicapper, Hunter, to get his 5% top play for today for just $9. So big savings over there at sportsmemo.com, $2 Tuesday.
Yeah, $2 Tuesday over at wagertalk.com, Drew. Dave Koken is the $2 Tuesday. Last year, Dave hit 63% in college football. This year, he started off 7-4. Dave is as good as it gets in this sport, and you can get a college football play from Dave Koken for only $2. Guys, lots to talk about. Let's talk college football right off the bat. Ralph Michaels, Stanford, coming off of a loss last week against USC. What's going on, my friend? Talk to me about this game.
You know, in the first 3 weeks of college football, this is the biggest power rating discrepancy I've had. I'm going to just be very honest with you. This play is available already as a 4% talk. My All Access customers already got it posted. When you're part of the All Access package, as soon as you post a play, you get it so you can be ahead of the line moves. This is a game where I think this line could climb to 9 or 10. I am a big UCF fan. You're talking about Stanford coming off the USC game. You're talking about the heat and humidity. And even if KJ Costello's back or not, he was injured and missed the USC game. Walker Little, their left tackle, is an NFL top 10 pick next year. Him being out changes the entire dynamic of this O-line. Stanford is a team that came in overrated. This was a team that, despite winning 10 games last year, they won 9 or 10. They were outgained on the season. Again, I had Stanford as in the mid-40s. I have UCF as a top 20 team. I have this power rated as a 17-point play on UCF. And again, my all-access customers already got a 4% play on UCF here.
Wow, Ralph, that's a 10-point discrepancy. Drew, the line opened at UCF at -6. There's 7.5s already on the board. The over and under is 59, and I am with Ralph 100%. I don't know when this UCF team is going to get any type of respect. I think this line is just going to keep climbing. I like UCF in this spot as well. And I think Stanford is not a good team at all, both offensively and defensively. What do you like, my friend?
You know, great breakdowns by both of you guys so far. And Stanford gave up, near 400 yards to USC passing, also 120 on the ground. And when you talk about spot-wise, it doesn't get a lot worse than this. They got at USC, then they go across country to Orlando to play UCF, one of the more underrated teams in college football, and then back to the West Coast to play Oregon. Stanford has 3 losses in a row, and you can just coming up here on their schedule, eat by them, terrible scheduling. And for UCF, it really hasn't mattered who their quarterback is, be it Mack, Gabriel, Wimbush at quarterback. This team's already put up more than 500 yards in each of their first 2 defense. The 7 held FAU at, I think, actually better than comparing their front 7 gets after it, 5 sacks. UCF, Prez, you brought it up. When is this team going to get respect? When you look at their record, not only are they 25-1 their last 26, they're 19-6 their last 25 against the spread. So this team has been a moneymaker for me personally more than any other team in any other sport over the last 2 years. Glad I've been betting them. The Knights are underrated. I don't know when they're going to get more respect. Absolutely agree with Ralph. I'm on the Knights personally as well.
Ralph,
I want to jump in 1 second, Prez. I disagree with the smallest of statements. I think UCF is getting respect. Listen, they're number 17 in the AP poll, ahead of Michigan State, ahead of Iowa, ahead of Washington State, ahead of Maryland, and they're a 7.5-point favorite against Stanford. So I think they are getting the respect.
Yeah, but Ralph,
I just think,
not to cut you off, but they're a -7.5 favorite because they didn't get respect. The line opened at under 7. It's been bet to 7.5. Who's not giving them respect is the line makers. The actual smart, wise guys are saying exactly the same things that both of you and I are saying. And that is, this team is really good. And this team, as you said, you have them literally at -17, and yet they're 7.5, and you're saying they're getting respect?
well, again, I think Stanford was getting too much respect. So I think if you ask UCF, being 17 in the AP poll, you're happy with that. Having Stanford coming to town, being a touchdown favorite. I think after UCF has done it year after year, they are getting respect. I just think that Stanford was getting too much respect.
He's Ralph Michaels, Drew Martin with us. Drew, you've got a promo to give out. Please do.
Yeah, doing a special at sportsmemo.com. You can get the rest of my college football season for $399. Huge discount there using the coupon code DREW399. That's DW. Follow up with what Ralph was saying. Great breakdown overall. It's just, I always felt like if you change the label on the uniforms from UCF, kept all the same players, everything the same, and made it the Florida Gators, this line would likely be 17, near 20. I just don't think people have put together, they always bring group of 5 versus power 5. It's changed. This isn't 1995 anymore. UCF is getting the recruit for 5 teams. It's just not showing up as quickly in the betting markets and wins and losses, and it's showing in their ATS record, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Drew, give out that code one more time.
Drew399. So Drew399, and it will make the rest of my college football season just $399 at sportsmemo.com.
Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. I want to talk a little bit about the Gold Sheet, and I also have an incredible promotion for Ralph Michaels. And then we're going to get back and take a look at 2 baseball games. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us and watching Morning Joe and the Pro. We've got a name change coming, and it will be the Bettor's Edge. So the gentleman who came up with the term The Edge, I accept you as the winner. So please email Missy at WagerTalk.com for your $200 in wager bucks. 7 days of Ralph's plays, everybody. That's baseball, football, both college and NFL for only $79. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Use the promo code WT7day. That's WT7day for 7 days of Ralph Michaels for only $79. And don't forget, of course, like we already spoke about, it's $2 Tuesdays at both Sports Memo and Wager Talk. Alex Smith is the $2 handicapper at Sports Memo, and Dave Koken's college football play is the $2 play over at Wager Talk. And frankly, you should be playing both of those plays. Drew, we'll go to you first in baseball. The Chicago Cubs against the San Diego Padres. San Diego, the home team, plus 140 with an over and under of 9. The Cubs have lost 3 of their last 4 games. They got, they lost 3 of 4 against Milwaukee. They did beat San Diego handily 10-2. And San Diego's on a free fall. They've lost 5 of their last 7 games. Chicago needs to keep winning. They're only 2 games up on Milwaukee, holding the last wild card spot. San Diego obviously out of it. What are you doing in this game, my friend?
I'm actually looking towards the underdog here, Prez. And you bring up the trouble that San Diego Padres have had. They are at home, and we know the Cubs. Padres have been solid against lefties, plus the fact Quintana's given up 4 earned runs in 2 of his last 3 starts. Bolanos, the starter for the Padres, a young kid, only 23 years old, high velocity, high upside. It's always kind of a volatile handicap with these guys making, I believe, only his second start of the season. His first start, 6 innings pitched, only 2 walks. I'd love to watch or really look into how many walks these young kids are pitching. Only 2 through 6 innings it isn't that bad, so I think he can have success here. And bullpen, slight advantage to the Cubs, but not enough of an advantage to make them near a 160 favorite. So I think there's some value here on the home team, the Padres, up near plus 150 right now.
Ralph, I'm passing on this game, my friend, completely. No side, no total. What do you like?
With Drew, I lean with the dog in this game. He talked about the Padres against lefties. They're 8-6 at home against lefties, and while that's not great, well, when you're 11 games under 500, it's a. Also look at Quintana. In his last 3 starts, he's allowed 7 walks. Not a lot for some pitchers, but his previous 4 games he allowed 1 walk. So in 4 games he's allowed 1 walk. Control issues the last 3 games with 7 walks. Bolanos, 15 prospect, came up with the 6. And, while you said the Padres are playing out a losing season, I think there was some exciting free agent signings, but they were a year away. They have one of the best farm clubs, the best young pitching staffs in the league. I think they want to play September out strong, run that momentum into a positive towards next year. So I think they have quite a bit to play for. I lean with the dog as well.
Drew Martin, somebody commented last week when we did Morning Joe and the Pro together that you look like Paul Walker. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, rest in peace, Paul Walker, great actor. But I think I could live up to that kind of standard there, Prez. But I do appreciate the comparison.
Ralph, nobody commented that you look like Humpty Dumpty.
Well, I was going to jump back, and Drew, it was 2 guys that said you look cute like Paul Walker. So before you say thank you, be careful what you wish for. Thanks, Prez. I appreciate the Humpty Dumpty joke.
Hey, Humpty Dumpty, sat on a something and fell off something else. I don't even remember that nursery rhyme. Guys, Oakland, holding on to the last wild card spot by the skin of their teeth, just got throttled 50-0 against Houston. They're a plus 145 dog on the road. The over and under is 10. Drew, what are you doing? Drew first. What are you doing in this one?
This is an interesting handicap. I think Oakland has best bullpen whip last 30 days. K to walk ratio very good. Near 800 team OPS versus lefties. So they've fared pretty well. It made me look towards Oakland here at another underdog price. I haven't bet it personally yet, though, even though Rourke has been solid. But it's just this Houston lineup. When you look at their last 2 weeks, 148 weighted runs created plus number, that is number 1 in baseball. So I could see them getting after Rourke, even though last time out versus the Houston Astros, Rourke went 6 innings, just 2 earned runs. So it's kind of like, part of my handicap's pointing towards the underdog, but still going against this Houston Astros lineup is always tough. So I think it's enough to keep.
Yeah, and I think you make some really good points. I mean, Oakland's a very pesky team. They're just a tough out no matter who they're playing. And I think coming off of a loss of 50-0, I think we're going to get a really good game by them. But I don't want to step in the way of Houston at all. I mean, this Houston team just cannot stop winning. They've won 5 in a row. They've won 7 of 8, 8 of 10, and they're throttling teams, Ralph. I mean, they have put up 36 runs in 2 games. Who's stepping in front of that lineup?
Yeah, Drew, I was going to ask you, was there a question who's number one in those baseball offensive stats when you put up 36 runs and 39 hits your last two games? How about this? How crazy am I? Houston has scored 36 runs, and I'm going to look at the under. Wade Miley on the road has Wade Miley at home has a 2.84 ERA, a 1.15 whip. He's 3-10. The Astros are 3-10 over under when he starts. And Tanner Roark, since he moved over from Cincinnati, in his 6 starts, the team has gone 1-5 over under. Tanner Roark in his couple road starts for the A's is 0.95 ERA. You've got a situation where you have a new pitcher to the American League after pitching on the Reds. The Astros going to see him. They did see him on August 16th in one of previous starts. Roark pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs. I think the game stays under tonight.
Yeah, I ain't getting in the way of Houston's bats either. But what you're saying makes sense, and we've seen this over and over again with teams who put up a huge number. But it's tough, man. I mean, 15 last game, 21 the game before. Sure, they only put up a 2-spot against Seattle, but then a 7-11. Very ballsy, Ralph, to say the least.
You got to remember, those Houston players get tired running around the bases that much.
Yeah. I like the handicap, though, kind of going the other way on it. And a lot of times that works out. So I like where you're going
Ralph,
with that,
I'm thinking more Mr. Clean.
All right. How about moving to some NFL?
Commercial break, boys. We're right back with NFL. Hey, everybody, real quick. Promotion for the Gold Sheet. You can only get it at WagerTalk.com. It's for our listeners of this show, and it's 50% off of all 3 publications at the Gold Sheet. The Gold Sheet does 3 publications a week. It's the oldest, longest standing sports betting publication on the planet. It's an absolute must read. The regular price is literally only $9. It's yours for $4.50. So I don't know how you can't find $4.50. You could go to Starbucks and get a triple grande latte with frappuccino, mocha, almond, soy, milk, and a smile for even more than that. So get a Dunkin' Donuts coffee and use the money you've saved to buy the Gold Sheet, $4.50. Use the promo code G50. That's G50. Anything to add about the Gold Sheet, Ralph?
No, I mean, fabulous publication. So happy to be involved with it. And you're talking. Bruce does such a great job. You still learn things. I'll tell you what, I can't handicap without going through their ticker, making sure you didn't miss any injuries. Just loaded with information.
He's Ralph Michaels. I'm the Prez, Drew Martin with us. You can find Ralph Michaels and myself at WagerTalk.com and Drew Martin over at Sports Memo. Guys, let's talk some football. 2 games coming up this week. Well, there's more than 2 games, but we're going to be doing 2 games every day on Morning Joe and the Pro. And the 2 games today is the Buffalo-New York Giants game and the San Francisco-Cincinnati game. And Ralph, I'll go to you first. Buffalo finds themselves at -2 on the road against the New York Giants. And here's my take on this game very quickly. Buffalo showed a hell of a lot of resilience last week. A great comeback led by Josh Allen. They were down 16-0 against the New York Jets and snuck out a 17-16 win. The New York Giants just looked bad against Dallas last week. Either that or Dallas is really one of the best teams in the league. The funny thing is the New York Giants offensively really weren't terrible. Eli's numbers weren't horrific. Saquon Barkley is an absolute beast. We have a total here of 43. You know, my gut feel, Ralph, and I have not gotten deep into this game yet, is that the New York Giants are a very live underdog here. I probably lean towards the New York Giants at +2, but to be honest with you, I like the New York Giants on the money line as well. I think the New York Giants are going to get 4 to 5 wins this season, and if that is the case, they're going to need these home wins against mediocre opponents. This is that kind of spot. I like the Giants. Where are you going in this game?
Well, since MetLife Stadium opened in 2010, this is only the second time where a team has played the Jets and Giants back-to-back weeks. That allows you familiarity. That allows you to be on the same sidelines. Hell, the Bills have played more games in Giant Stadium this year than the Giants have. So I think that's a big edge for the road team. Buffalo's defense is the legitimate best defense in the NFL. They allow 223 yards and 17 first down to the Jets. Yeah, you said the Giants offense didn't look bad. Well, if you just look at the box score, they put up 470 yards. They had a first down edge over Dallas, 25 to 23. And Manning was 33 of 48. But so much of that is being down. Dallas dominated early. We saw a lot of prevent defense. And a lot of those stats are what I back off and call garbage yards, that when I'm analyzing a team, I take that offense performance out.
And I not to interrupt you, Ralph, but, these are great points. You can also add to the fact that the New York Giants are really going to be a run team. And I think they got down so early in that game against Dallas, it forced them to throw the ball. I don't think we're going to see Eli put up 48 attempts for the rest of the season. So, yeah, great point. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, because they're going to hand the ball off more, because Daniel Jones will be the starting quarterback.
Daniel Jones will not be the starting quarterback at least this Sunday.
That's true. But I do look at Buffalo, and one thing I liked is mid-season last year, they went and they started spreading out the offense more. They played with tight ends and traditional running backs, and Josh Allen just got bogged down in the pocket. Well, they went to 3, 4, and 5 wideouts at times. It made more room for Josh Allen to run. He started to take off and not take sacks and get positive yards. I think Josh Allen improves. I'm impressed with the Bills putting up 370 yards at the Jets. Again, playing the same venue this week. I don't like playing against the line move, because the look-ahead line actually had the Giants favored from the Superbook. It's moved 3 points, but because it crossed over 0, it's not like moving from 2 to 5. It moved from 1.5 to 1.5 or 2. Against you, Prez, I am actually on Buffalo this week.
Yeah, and you were on Buffalo last week, Ralph. I think it was a 5% play. Congratulations to you. Super nice cover. Really a sweat. Drew Martin, what do you like in this game? You're the deciding factor. I'm on the Giants. Ralph's on Buffalo.
No, yeah, I guess the rubber match here. I do lean with Buffalo here at the short price, and I thought Ralph's breakdown was great. Very interesting that the Bills have played more games at MetLife than the Giants. I for whatever reason that didn't cross my mind, but the Giants are also just 1-6-1 ATS in their last 8 in MetLife, so not playing very well. Barkley 120 yards on the ground. I do agree with you, Prez, in terms of the Giants being more of a run-first team, and if they can have success running the ball, I'm with you. I think that they can find ways to win. I think that this team does have talent, and Eli, 30 for 44, over 300 yards? That's pretty impressive for a guy that a lot of people wrote off. So he might be able to fend off the backup there longer than a lot of people realize. But just Buffalo on the other side, I think that their defense is strong enough, a very improved defense, very good defense in my opinion, and I don't think the Giants are going to have success running the football. So I do like the Buffalo Bills here under a field goal.
Just for the record, everybody, Ralph thinks Buffalo's got the best, unquestionably the best defense in football. I question that. I believe it's Tennessee. I think the numbers will show that out by the end of the season. Next game, San Francisco on the road against Cincinnati, and Cincinnati finds themselves -1 with an over and under of 45. And let me give you my take quick before we go to you, Ralph. Look, I think Cincinnati could have gone into Seattle and won that game. I thought it was a bad call to kick towards the end of the game there. I thought they should have gone for a touchdown. They were driving to win the game towards the end. I thought they played well on offense. It's tough to gauge how well they played on defense, because I think Seattle might have one of the most anemic offenses in football when all is said and done. And conversely, when you look at San Fran's win over Tampa Bay, it's a little bit phony in the sense that I think there were 4 turnovers in that game. And the funny thing is, San Francisco only had 7 turnovers for the entire season last year, and they pulled a 4 spot out of their butts. against Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston with 3 interceptions. What would have happened without those turnovers? There were also some late scores in that game. There were 2 pick sixes in that game. I'm struggling with the Cincinnati-San Fran game because I feel like the first game last week with San Fran and Tampa Bay did not give us a true indication of how good or bad San Francisco is. This is a pick'em game. I'm going to take the home team, but I don't think I'm going to get to the window. I can't see myself betting this game at all. Ralph?
Well, before I go into this game, I just want to mention one more thing. Earlier, we talked about how much I like UCF, and I posted the play. Well, we know at WagerTalk, it's Manic Monday, $9 Mondays. I posted a 5% college football play. My first 5% college football play of the season. We left it up today. So anyone watching the show can still go to WagerTalk and get my first college football play for just $9. No coupon needed. It's right on the front page. Now, after that shameless plug, let me go on to this game. Interesting dynamic for the San Francisco 49ers. We know they're associated with the DeBartolos. They go to Tampa, and then they go to Cincinnati. They're going to Youngstown and practicing in Youngstown instead of flying back west and flying back east. Now, I don't have any numbers to prove this, but I remember going back to the Hawaii Rainbow days when Hawaii came over to the coast, and it was early in the year. They would stay here for the week. And the team talked about how much camaraderie they got and how well they got together that week and how much better they played the second week of staying here. I know a few NFL teams have stayed out west or stayed out east. We'll see what happens with the 49ers in this role. I completely agree. The 49ers had 2 interceptions last year. On the season, they had 2 pick sixes this game. That offense only put up 256 yards and 17 first downs. Garoppolo did not look good. Besides the New England Patriots, who I moved up 3 points in my power rating because of their defense and AB, Cincinnati was the next most improved team that I upped in my power ratings. I am completely impressed what Zach Taylor did. Andy Dalton looked like a young, aggressive, very good quarterback. I have not seen that out of Andy Dalton, and I watch a lot of Bengals games being a Browns fan in the AFC North. The defense looked good to me. Holding Seattle at home to 233 yards, having a 429 to 233 yard edge. I agree. The Bengals is another team that moved a couple points from the opening line. I think deservedly so. Despite San Fran staying out east in Youngstown, making the short bus ride to Cincinnati, I agree with you. I like the Bengals at home.
Yeah, and you know, don't forget as well, guys. You know, San Fran has lost McKinnon, and now they've lost Tevin Coleman. And, you know, if you listen to the NFL presidential address from my preview show with Kelly Stewart, I'm really high on Tevin Coleman. I think he's one of those guys like James White, like Duke Johnson, where coming out of the backfield and catching plays just opens up a lot of opportunities for their wide receivers and their tight end. And now he's out. I think we're going to probably see a whole lot of Breida. I just don't buy the San Francisco offense. Drew, what do you like in this one?
I lean towards the under, but I will say this about Breida. You know, he is a guy coming from Georgia Southern that has just really impressed in the NFL, and you could see it coming out of college. Really quick, can make plays. So I don't know if I would degrade him too much, but you're right. They have lost some at the position. And overall, I look at this game just mainly from the defensive lines. I think both defensive lines are very underrated, in Cincinnati especially, plus and San Francisco with D Ford, also with Nick Bosa getting after the quarterback. So I think defense kind of dominates here. We did see what Seattle only being able to put up, I believe, like 240, even less than that, yards total. So I think both offenses kind of struggle here. And I look towards the under, mid-40s here. I think they struggle for points.
Drew, just one of your points. Seattle had 12 first downs in that game at home against Cincinnati to go with the 233 yards.
Yeah, I'm not high on Seattle at all. Drew, give out your promo again, and then we'll call it a show.
Yeah, promo Drew399 at sportsmemo.com makes college football full season all the way through the national championship, all the bowls, just $399. So for under $400, you get every college play that I release. Drew, DREW399 at checkout.
Hey, Drew, let me do math real quick. 399, there's about 17 weeks left. So basically, you're giving away college football for about $22 a week.
Nice, man. Good doing the numbers in your head there.
And that's why Ralph Michaels is a legend. Guys, thanks so much for watching Morning Joe and the Pro. We have a name change coming next week. It's going to be called The Bettor's Edge with the Prez. And I'm excited about it. Drew Martin today with us. Ralph Michaels, they'll be on every show, every Tuesday show. Tomorrow's Morning Joe, Dave Koken and Dwayne Bryant. Just to recap really quick, use the promo code WT7DAY for $79. You get Ralph Michaels for the next 7 days. That's all his plays. As well, the Gold Sheet for half price. You can get that only at WagerTalk.com. Use the promo code G50. Dave Koken is the $2 Tuesday featured handicapper with a college football play over at WagerTalk. And Alex Smith is the featured handicapper, $2 Tuesday over at sportsmemo.com. Thanks so much, everybody, for being with us. Always a bicep pump to end the show. We love you all. Make sure to keep commenting. I love the negative comments. I was called a douche again yesterday. Thank you for the compliment. Nothing better than cleaning out for JJ. That's it for me. Prez at Wager Talk. Love you all. I'm out.